Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me know if you guys can hear my audio and see my screen in the chat box. Just give me a little Y or yes there, just to let me know that it is indeed working. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Friday so far. Happy Friday, everybody. Just want to wish everybody a happy weekend. I'm excited. I love Friday, especially when it's been a good trading week. So I'm excited to close out our remaining trades and update, the other trades that we have open. So looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and jump into this. As always, I need to remind you about the risks involved in this market. You can lose all or more than your initial investment if you're not careful. So please be aware of how many pips you're risking on each trade, in addition to how big your lot size is and ultimately how that would affect your account if you were to lose money. So make sure that you're going through that process each and every time that you take a trade. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and go to the COT report first. Let's go ahead and update this. So I had two other trades close out in the money on their trailing stops last night. So the pound yen closed for me at 183 pips of profit. Pound CAD closed for 148. That all happened last night while I was sleeping. And your results could vary, just depending on when you got in at the start of the week and also where your trailing stop is. But if you still have those trades open, now's the time you get to close those trades. I do have one trade still open that made it through the week without a trailing stop or anything else. So I have my NZD CAD still open. It is up 19 pips right now. I'm going to go ahead and close that trade for 19 pips of profit. Boom, done. So 19 pips on the NZD CAD. Okay, so that's our grand total for the week. Everything's locked in now. So that gives us so like I said, 410 pips is what I had. So let's kind of update each one. In fact, let's go take a look at each pair, and then we'll jump into our price action for the day. So let's go look at the pound yen first. So yeah, no, this was the best trade of the week. So let's go and look at that first and foremost. So let's pull up let's go use that weekend indicator to kind of orient ourselves. So this is the start of the week over here, obviously a while ago, definitely here. Let's delete this. Been a little bit. And actually, let's look at an hourly chart. So here we go. Okay, here we go. This is what we're looking at. So you've got this pound yen. This is where it started the week over here. And again, your results could vary quite a bit. I do want to be very clear here that wherever you entered on the week could change things significantly. Like if you entered up here or down here, and what do you do? What do you do about that? I don't know if there's much you can do. I mean, that's just, if you want to take the time, if you want to take the trades at the same time I take them typically between 10 p.m. Eastern and 12 a.m. Technically Monday it would be, but yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern and we'll say 11:59 on Sunday night Eastern time. That's when I'm taking my trades. So if you want to be taking the trades around the same time, I would do that. But there's nothing wrong with just getting in right at like the Tokyo Open, which is at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want to do that, that's great. And some weeks you're going to do better than me. There have been plenty of weeks where you guys are going to do better. This is one of those weeks where it would have been better if you had been at the latter end of the weekend. Like if you had started late on Sunday, you would have done a lot better. But I mean, you're looking at this move compared to like this move right here compared to like this move right here. I mean, that's a big move right there. So this thing from its lowest low this week to its highest high, it was this was like 300 pips. What I think we made like 184, 185, something like that. So I was up on this and then this thing started to pull back yesterday. So I ended up getting out something like right here on the trailing stop. So trailing stop kicked me out in the money though. So it sounds bad because the trailing stop hit, but at the same time, yeah, I hit my trailing stop when I was already up 184 pips on the week, right? On this one particular trade. So I'm not kicking myself over that. The next trade was the pound CAD. Was this our best trade? How did this one do? This one ended up, no, it was 148. So it was our second best trade. Made 148 pips this week. This pound CAD. So this is the start of the week right over here. It actually dipped a little bit and then came right back up. Yeah, Monday morning. This got as high a couple hours ago to 225 pips. Like I said, I ended up closing for almost 150. So I ended up I must have gotten in somewhere in the middle here on the weekend, and I made 150. So something like that is what I got. So pretty good. I captured most of this move right here. Hopefully you guys did too. This one I'm hoping most people got about the same on because there wasn't a lot of variance on the weekend. So hopefully everybody got about the same. Let's see, NZD yen, this one closed out, I think Tuesday or Wednesday at the trailing stop. So, and I think that was a good thing because this thing didn't do all that well. If you were to have started the week and ended the week over here. So if you had started the week, let's say here, you would currently be down about 29 or 20 or 30 pips on this trade. Fortunately, on Monday or Tuesday, this did move up significantly, and that was enough to kick in my trailing stop insofar that I was able to get 29 pips out of this when it pulled back. So trailing stop did engage. I still made money on this trade. This is a trade from a while ago now, but still pretty good. I'm curious to see if this is a trade going into next week. I kind of think it will be. I think the Kiwi is starting to strengthen a lot. So if the Kiwi comes out strong next week, then there's a pretty good chance that we'll be taking this trade yet again. Let's look at the next one. So the next one was the NZD CAD. We just closed that one out. And then, oh, nice. Johnny sharing his results. Good. Yeah. This was one of those weeks. It's funny because last week it seems like the trailing stop hurt us. This week the trailing stop really came in clutch, right? I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things where you just you work in averages, I guess. But 225, that's still pretty dang good. NZD yen minus 24. That's what you got. Yeah, that's probably without the trailing stop. So you made about what I said people would lose without a trailing stop. Cool. And then let's look at these other ones. So NZD CAD, this was the one we just barely closed out. This one's really been back and forth all week. So this is the only trade that actually made it through the week. It did nothing. It did nothing this week. I mean, we still made, almost 20 pips on this, but yeah, you could have gotten in over here. You could have gotten over here. But it was up a bunch, came down, was actually negative for a little bit. And then this morning it came up a little bit. So, ended with 19 pips on the NZD CAD. So not too bad. Okay, then let's look at so Aussie, the Aussies, let's take a look at those next. Aussie yen, I ended up making 29 pips on because of the trailing stop. I think this one would have actually lost a bunch without a trailing stop. Yeah, so the way this worked was this is the weekend right here. Okay, so the market actually started going crazy in our favor pretty quickly. This trade got up, approximately 100 pips or so, which is enough to bring the trailing stop in the money, and then it pulled back on Tuesday or Wednesday. I ended up closing for plus 29 pips, which I'm grateful for because if I were still in this trade, I'd be down about 87 pips or something like that right now. So I am grateful for the trailing stop, but hopefully you're still positive even with that negative right there, because hopefully you're still positive, just because we've had other trades that have done well. Okay, but that trade ended up closing out early due to my trailing stop. And then Aussie CAD, this one barely made anything. It made 2 pips for me this week, and that was also out via the trailing stop. And this one didn't do much this week. It started, in this yellow area, came up a little bit. That was enough to kick in my trailing stop on MT4. If you want to see my trades, I can text you my trades. That's what happened, right? So, I got out for +2 pips, and then looks like it came down right here on Thursday night, and then it recouped quite a bit. And if you were still in the trade right now, you'd be down approximately, we'll say 20, 25 pips. So, not bad considering where it's been. It's been all over the place this week. I have a hunch that this one's going to be another long this week, just because the Aussie has been strengthening, CAD has been weak generally. So, I could kind of see this flagging right here. I could definitely see a narrative for this to, break to the upside into this next week. So we'll see if that's another trade that we get. But anyway, that's the recap on the week. We did pretty good, not a crazy good week, but yeah, we'll say solid week. I mean, if you're averaging 185 pips, 180, whatever this, our average right now is 184 pips a week. If that's what you're averaging, then this week was, more than double the average. So that's good. We'll take it. I definitely would love to see it a few more weeks where I'd love to see like an 800 pip week here in the next couple of weeks or something like that. Hopefully we continue that trend. So where's the video where you do the trailing stops? Yeah. So here's the video right here, guys. I think I have it on the calendar right here. So if you go to the calendar, let's load this up. That video that you're talking about where I demo the trades, where I actually take the trades myself. Here, let's go to the calendar. Calendars are kind of weird sometimes. It takes a second to load. Give it a second. There we go. Okay, so if you go back to, I believe it's July. Yeah, it's this one right here on July 11th. Taking COT Report trades live. I filmed this on July 9th. Okay, that's when I filmed it. But I posted it on the 11th. I think I was busy that day or something like that, so I did that instead. So if you go to July 11th and you watch that recording on the calendar, that's going to take you to the webinar where I actually took these trades with you guys, or not with you guys. It's where I demoed the trade setups. So that would be a good class to watch. Are all the recordings on YouTube? No, I don't post all of my recordings on YouTube. I just post a couple of select classes. No, definitely not. I post 2 YouTube videos a week. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. So, and I do 8 classes with you guys in a week. 7 to 8 classes a week, just depends on the week. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. So let's see what else is here. What else do we want to do? Okay, so that's basically an update on the COT report. So yeah, good week. Last week was good generally. This week I think was a lot better for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons why I think this week was a lot better, not just because of pips, but I feel like I made more dollars this week than I did last week. And part of that's because a lot of the trades that won had bigger lot sizes than others. So like even these small wins, like on the NZD yen, NZD CAD, Aussie yen, those had some pretty solid lot sizes. And so even though they didn't make a lot of pips, they still contributed to this week's overall results. Most of the money for sure, though, was tied up in these 2 trades, the pound yen and pound CAD. That's where most of the money was made. So anyway, like I said, I'm just hoping for another solid week next week. So for those of you that are new to the program or watching this in the recording, we will post our signals tomorrow night in the Telegram channel. So all of you should have access to this right here. Here's the Telegram channel. This is where we post all the trades. So it'll look like this. Let me go back to, is this it right here? Yeah. So this is what it looks like. So I just post a picture of the trades on Saturday night, and you'll have a list of all the trades we're taking. and the stop losses that we're using for each one. I like to plug in a half an average daily range trailing stop. So that video I just shared will probably be a good one to watch. And then if you need help trying to take these trades. But yeah, you should be good to go ahead and, as soon as this comes out Saturday night, you obviously can't take them Saturday night because on Saturday night, the market's closed. So you're going to have to wait until Sunday or Sunday evening to take these trades. If you live in Australia or New Zealand, obviously you can take these trades, your morning on Monday morning because that's when the market opens. You guys are just ahead. For those of you in Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia, Japan, you guys are kind of the first to open your markets, and then everyone else kind of follows suit. And it kind of goes, after that, Singapore, then into Africa and into Europe, those markets open. And then the US and Canadian markets are kind of the last to open during a financial day. And so that's why we have to take our trades Sunday night or early Monday morning, because otherwise you're going to miss out on a lot of that trading. Okay. So when do you guys get in? So this week was kind of a interesting week, especially on like the pound yen. I noticed most people had a lot of varying results on the pound yen, depending on where you got in. There was like if you go back and look at it just real quick, the pound yen started the week, depending on where you got in, you could have gotten in at the top up here, or you could have gotten in at the bottom over here. And that difference was about, it was actually about 50 or 60 pips. So your results could vary by mine about 50 or 60 pips on the pound yen. That is a lot. Not every currency pair was off by that much. So sometimes the volatility can be pretty high on Sunday nights. So I just want everybody to be aware of that. So if you want your results to look just like mine, I would suggest you take your trades between 10 p.m. and 11:59 or on Sunday night, or midnight Sunday night is something you could do, or Sunday morning. I don't necessarily recommend that. Sometimes I take my trades later and it burns me, and you guys do better because you guys get in earlier. So I recognize a lot of you guys are on the East Coast. You're 2 hours ahead of me. And so a lot of you guys take your trades, at like 8 p.m. Eastern or 10 p.m. Eastern, and that's 2 to 4 hours typically before I'll take my trades. So some weeks you're going to do better because you did that. Some weeks I'll do better. And so if you want to be exactly the time I take mine, then, you'll have to stay up till 11 p.m. or something like that. And then take them then. Is that required? No. To be successful? No, you don't have to do that. Why do I do that? A lot of people ask me, is that like a secret time? And it's not. It's just because that's the natural time for me to end my day on Sunday night and take my trades just before I go to bed. If I lived in Florida, or when I'm visiting Florida or Georgia or Charlotte, North Carolina, when I go out to those places and I take these trades, yeah, then I'm on your schedule and I'm taking these, I'm taking these trades at the same time, 10 p.m. Eastern at that point. So it's just based off of what, my schedule is. It has nothing to do with the market. So I don't really have a secret time to get in or a secret price. A lot of people have asked me, why don't you just give us, why don't you just give us a price to get in at? And the reason why is because by the time the market opens, it could gap up, it could gap down. So there's not really a price I could give you either. So the best thing I can do is just say, hey, take these things before you wrap up your weekend and go into Monday, and just have them ready to go. That's the best thing I can, at this point, that's kind of the best thing I can have you guys do. So, but I do want you guys to be super successful with it. So whatever I can do to help make it more smooth, then let's reason together and come up with a way to do that. But yeah, so anyway, it's a good week. Like I said, it was a good COT week. 410 pips, you can't complain about that. And maybe you made 300, maybe you made 500. It just depends on where you got in. Uh, yeah, maybe some of you made almost exactly what I got, and that's fantastic. So, all right, guys. So, so what do we do now? So, like I said, tomorrow I get the new trades, you'll take them, and then we'll just go into next week, and it's just rinse and repeat. It's that simple. There's nothing really to it other than that. All right, guys. So let's jump into our price action stuff, unless there's other questions. Yeah, Darwin says, be interesting to see what times we all get in and compare results at end of next week. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's different. You know, um, there were some, some people texted me yesterday saying that their results were way off from mine. And so, I'm always, when I hear that results are way off, not just a little off, then I do want to be, I want to hear about that. Don't be afraid either to contact me. Don't be like, hey, Steve, I'm losing, you're winning. Like, definitely tell me that. And also, if you're doing better than me, let me know too. There's nothing wrong with that. Either. So yeah, definitely over communicating with me would be fantastic. I definitely encourage communication. Don't ever feel like it's a burden to send me an email, call me or text me, or send me a message on Telegram. The fastest way you're going to get a response from me is either through a text or a Telegram message, typically, or a direct phone call would be fine too if you need something that's urgent. The emails is great. That's not going to be as immediate. So, but yeah, definitely I encourage your communication. Like, I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, well, I guess it's just whatever. No, it's not whatever. Definitely communicate with me and let's talk about where you're at. But there have been plenty of weeks where some of you guys have done way better than this, just depending on your entry. So it is going to eventually average out. So, like I said, like there have been plenty of weeks. I can give you countless examples where some traders have done way better than me and others, but the whole concept it will average over time. So I wouldn't be too worried about it as long as you're getting in. Where I would be worried is if you took the trades like Monday or Tuesday and you waited all the way till Monday or Tuesday to take them. Sometimes that's way too late. If you wait till late Monday to take your trades or late Tuesday, like sometimes the ship sails, guys, right? So you do want to get in before that. Um, okay, what other things? And then yeah, the other thing too is that's really important. We talked about this week is to not close your winning trades early. I think the optimal time this week would have been, in hindsight, and again, this is hindsight, probably would have been sometime yesterday to have closed everything. But how would you have known that? Right? Like, how would you have known that the best time to close would have been yesterday at 1 p.m. or something like that? I don't know how you would have known, right? And so don't make it a habit to say, well, it looks like 1 p.m. on Thursday is the best time to close. That's just one instance where that's happened. In general, I mean, there have been plenty weeks where I've seen Friday do wonders for the trades. I've seen trades after NFPs and other news events on Fridays just excel. I've also seen them go backwards during those news events, right? But in general, you're going to do fine if you just let those trades average out through those news events and through those periods. As long as you have your stop loss and your trailing stop attached and you've done a correct job with your lot size, you shouldn't be worried, right? You really shouldn't be worried. So, all right, guys. Well, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and jump into our price action trades for the rest of the webinar. We posted this trade, which I'm going to leave over the weekend. It's looking good. So a couple of things on this guy. And actually, let's double check the outlook. Let's see, where's that? Let's do my FX book community outlook. Let's see where it's at now. So let's look at the Aussie franc and see if it's still pretty biased. I believe it should be. So yeah, Aussie franc. Wow, it's still 96% long and only 4% short on the Aussie franc. So there's going to be selling pressure coming into Aussie franc soon, guys. Why is that? So when you have that many buyers, when buyers have to close, they sell. So when you look at this chart with the Aussie franc, it's coming up. It's going to get trounced here eventually, and we want to be ready to attack this when it finally gets to a good price. So the next obvious liquidity zone is exactly where our trade is set up. Exactly. We've got a liquidity zone that's pretty well identified. Our RR ratio is almost 1-4. If we win this trade, that covers a bunch of losses right there. So that keeps you in business if you can keep your RR pretty solid like that. Okay, so and why is that the next area, guys? So basically, this liquidity zone got tapped into right here already. And why is that? Why was that liquidity? Because whatever happened there broke structure. Um, um, it broke structure right here, right? Not a crazy structure, but it did. And then the market came back up, tapped into this, and then pulled back. This one came up. So far, it's tapping into the liquidity, but I don't like to use liquidity after it's already been tapped into. This one has been used already. This one has not up here. We have not used this one yet. So this is the most natural place to close. And why is that, guys? So when you're trying to find liquidity, you always have to follow the market backwards. So here's what I suggest. When you go see a big move, follow the market backwards to where that move started. That's going to be liquidity, okay? Especially if that liquidity broke structure. I would say it's a requirement, honestly. So right here, you broke a little structure, but this is more of your structure right here that we've drawn out. And the last known consolidation before this major move down right here was this area right here. So that's a liquidity zone. You can also confirm that with an indicator, right? So let's actually pull up our order block indicators and let's double check that. So if you pull up Stoner Lab, yep, you've got a liquidity zone right there. Let's call it Smart Money. Smart Money's got one just actually a little bit above our stop, which we may need to look into. And then the order block detectors all lighten up this area. So this whole area is lighting up. That is your sell zone right there. You have a bunch of buyers that need to exit their position. Where are they most likely to do it? Right there, guys. So this is definitely one you want to hold over the weekend. It's a pending order. If your prop firm allows you to hold trades over the weekend, then do it. If they don't, then obviously close it and maybe reset on Sunday or Monday if this trade has not triggered yet. So this is actually what you want to see. You actually want to see the market coming up where there's a lot of buying pressure from retail traders, because those buyers will be very quick and fickle to release their buys, and they want to exit their buy position so that they can go ahead and start selling. Yeah, they need to basically get out of their position essentially. Okay. So that's a really good trade, and I'm excited for that one. And we can find other trade setups like it. I actually want to check real quick with my FX Blue to see if they're saying about the same thing as my FX Book. And sure enough, yeah, it's the third most biased one right now. You have 84.2% long on the Aussie franc. So yeah, that's pretty high up there. Let's look at some of these others, like the NZD franc is at 97%. That's crazy. That is crazy. Let's take a look at it. See if there's another trade we can post. Let's go to the NZD franc. This guy's up today, definitely. We'll see if he pulls back quickly, but I do want to see if there's a zone where we could trade this. Oh yeah, I think I remember looking at this with you guys. It wasn't as clear where our structure is. This does appear to be something right here. You've got support there, you have support here. It was resistance right here. So this appears to be some kind of structure right here. So if we could find liquidity just above this line, that might be a good place to sell for the NZD franc. Let's see if we can find it. Let's try some of these. So right there, they're saying that's liquidity. And then right there, it's not, you don't have a lot of overlapping order blocks. And so for me, when I look at this, I get a little bit nervous about jumping into this one. The reason why is because you want something where you have overlapping order blocks, where the liquidity is pretty well defined. This one doesn't, even though I do believe that if the market were to come up to here, or maybe even to this next zone, there's a good chance you'll see pullbacks in these areas. I think it's a little too much speculation for me and not enough structure either. And that's probably why we don't have defined order blocks, is because the structure is it's not very good. So I'm probably going to skip this one. And honestly, the Aussie franc is basically the same trade and it looks pretty good. So we'll stick with that one. Let's look at some of these others, like the euro pound, I believe, is also pretty biased. 89% long and 11% short. Yeah, that's pretty up there. So let's pull up the euro pound. And let's see. Yeah, this even just today, this has, I'm kind of mad I missed some of these overnight trades last night. This market basically came up into this little zone up here, came up to that resistance and pulled right back. So where's the next area? Well, I can see over here that this was a support level that broke this structure right there that sent the market lower for the next little while. So this would actually be not too bad of an area. My guess is we probably have liquidity right there on the euro pound. Something, I'm actually going to include both of that, that and this. That would probably be a good selling area, something up there. Let's see if these order block detectors say the same thing. Not as much, so I'm surprised. So I might actually delete that. I thought it would be more. There's only just one order block right there. Okay, so you want more overlapping blocks, and it looks like there's more blocks right up in here, not up there. I might skip this one because I'm not getting it's not as obvious what we're supposed to be doing on this one. So let's definitely look for another one that's pretty biased. Okay, so you got the USD CAD at 93% short. So my guess is the USD CAD's been going up, right? Yep, sure enough. So that is pretty high up there, 93%, right? You've got some structure here. Yeah, that's definitely possible. I'm trying to think, where's the best place to do this? Let's look at these order block indicators. And yeah, there's not a lot of overlapping blocks, to be honest. There's a little something here, but not a lot. So I might, honestly, I'm just looking for the very best trade. I'm not trying to squeeze as many trades as I can. I'm just trying to be very picky and get the right setup. Okay, let's actually look at some of these other, like the CAD franc is up there on that list. And actually let's look at the sentiment index. Where does this have it? Where is it at? Yeah, dang, am I missing it? Let's just do a control F. CAD rank. There it is. Yeah, so it's at 95%. That's high up there. So let's see, can we find a structure that makes sense over here? So yeah, it's not as good, but I can see some places like right over here. This was a support level right through here. Let's see if there's structure or order blocks up in there. Just one. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. It's already been tapped into. Yeah. Yeah, this one's already been tapped into. So did we I think we did take this trade. I thought we closed it though. Did you get into it, Brooks? Let me pull this up. I think we took this on Telegram, but I thought we closed it. Let's go take a look. So CAD franc, where was this our trade from Friday last week? Yeah, right there. But I guess this is not quite the exact place that we were talking about. Oh, I gotcha. Oh, I see what you're saying. So like over here, this was really nice liquidity right here, because you had a nice little BOS here, and then the market came back up, tapped into it here, but it also tapped into it right here, and then it was off to the races at that point. Yeah, so I think it's hard to use that one if it's already kind of taken off. Yeah, I think it's a little hard to use it. Like, and we're in it right now. This is actually probably what you're talking about. So you're in one right now, but it's already been used, right? So, like if you do a rewind, this is where it broke over here. So you had a nice little structure point right here, nice structure, right? And then the market broke that right here. Oh yeah, this is what you're talking about. Broke that right here. So naturally, you've got liquidity trapped up in here, right? If that's the BOS, so that's where the liquidity is going to be. And then if you fast forward the market, it came back up, tapped into this area, boom, and then it took back to the downside, which is kind of expected. And then it looks like it actually did that again a couple of times even. Let's see. Let's go a little faster. Let's speed this up. Yeah, right there, tapped into it. And then that's okay. So, yep. So that was the best trade. It did it again, but now, and like Brooks is saying, and this is what I'm saying too, is you don't want to use it again if it's been tapped into multiple times, because that means that whatever liquidity was there has been relinquished. It's been liquidated. It's been, what's the other word for it? It's been offset, and it's been fulfilled basically. So whatever imbalance existed, it's been taken care of. And so it's no use at this point if it's already been tapped into. So you want to find the ones that haven't been touched. That's why the NZD franc is such a good trade, is because or the Aussie franc, excuse me, is such a good trade, is because we have an area that hasn't been touched yet with a clear breakage structure. And you've got all these traders who need to get out of their long positions. So they're going to have to sell, and that's probably the best place to do it. So yeah, that's why that area is so good. But like I said, it can be tough to find the exact trade you want to find. I may not even take a trade if I can't find something that I really like. We might just kind of stick with the one we have and then move to the next week. Pound Aussie's pretty biased right now. Let's take a look at that one, see if there's something there we can use. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this type of price action. I mean, yeah, it's kind of making a pennant right now, and that could break to the upside. Definitely. I'm just not a big fan of trading those. I mean, I used to, but not anymore. There's a bunch of liquidity right there. Looks like it already got touched though. See, that's the thing. It's already got tapped into right there. Um, it might do it again, who knows? But honestly, guys, I think I might just stick with the I have to get going. I got some things I got to do today. I'm actually dressed up for some stuff I've got to get to, but um I think this is the best trade to leave over the weekend. As far as I can tell, this matches everything you want. You got your BOS, your breakage structure. I think let's leave it on this, because if this guy triggers next week, there's a really good chance that one will work out and you'll get a good RR on it. So we'll leave that one alone. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up with that. I don't see any other questions. If you have questions, let me know. But yeah, expect your COT report trades to come out tomorrow night. For those that are new, that's kind of the routine. And then go ahead and take those Sunday night. If you need help with taking those trades, feel free to go back and watch that class from July 11th. That's when I demoed how to take these trades. So, all right, guys, we'll have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks for coming.